This episode is brought to you by Battleborn Batteries, the best name in the RV and marine industry. These lithium batteries are designed and assembled in the USA, backed by a 10-year warranty. The best solution for your battery anxiety, so go check them out at battlebornbatteries.com.
You are listening to Beyond the Wheel, a podcast about the people and ideas that drive the RV community forward.
This is a special episode of Beyond the Wheel. Kenny and I were fortunate to go to the RVX trade show in Salt Lake City. While there, we were even more fortunate to meet with Toby O'Rourke, the new CEO of KOA. We literally sat on the floor in the KOA section of the show with visitors walking all around us and talked about all KOA has to offer and the campground of the future. We were very grateful for her time and set up an impromptu recording to capture her thoughts and introduce her to the listeners. We hope you enjoy this very special episode of Beyond the Wheel.
So hi, Toby. Thank you for coming on the show. And to start things off, if you could just give us a brief description of yourself and KOA.
Well, my name's Toby O'Rourke, as you mentioned. I'm the president of KOA and just named the new CEO when our CEO is retiring next month, so I'll be taking over from there.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm really excited, yeah. Just as an introduction to KOA, we're the world's largest network of private campgrounds. We've got 518 locations in the U.S. and Canada. Pretty much anywhere someone wants to go, there should be a KOA nearby. Our parks are segmented into 3 different types: KOA Journeys, KOA Holidays, and KOA Resorts.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of KOA.
I like to hear that.
So what's the difference between the 3?
Well, they're all oriented based off experience. So our whole goal with this project was to help explain to the customer, help set their expectations about what they'll have when they get there. So KOA Journeys are standard overnight parks, typically located on highways, easy on, easy off access, long pull-through sites, all about convenience for the traveler. KOA Holiday, which is the bulk of our system, that might be your local KOA. If you think about, you're going to have beautiful patio RV sites, you're going to have tenting, you're going to have cabins, you're going to have some form of recreation. And all of our KOAs obviously have stores and bathrooms and laundry. And then the KOA Resort is an amped up holiday. We've got more recreation, more cabins, more patio sites. We also have food service, and the whole idea of a resort is you shouldn't have to leave the campground if you don't want to. Truly a destination.
Okay, so that reminds me of, I just stayed at the Tucson Lazy Days KOA.
Yeah, okay, that's
so
one
that
of our
would be
resorts.
A resort one.
That's one of our resorts, yeah.
Okay.
So on top of all that and all these choices that you're making for your customers, we have a lot of changes in accommodating the growth of RVers and the younger generation. And Sean and I work remotely from our RVs. Is KOA doing anything for the maybe full-timer that is working from their RV and traveling full-time?
Right. We definitely know there's a lot of people working and full-time RVers. And we take, technology always comes up as one of the number one requests. All of those 3 brand positions I just mentioned, we've got pretty strict Wi-Fi requirements across each of those. In order to get that sign hung up, you have to have coverage across 95% of your sites. And so that's something that we are pushing from the home office, and we see our owners investing heavily in trying to deliver good Wi-Fi, because it's not just for the traveling camper. We know that that's the requirement of everybody these days is having good Wi-Fi.
Absolutely.
Okay. So I noticed from the North American Camping Report that the growth of campers seems to be in the middle income range, as opposed to like the retired wealthy, big Newmar owners.
Right.
Is KOA trying to maintain affordability for camping for that age range?
I think that's a really good question. I think what's really unique about KOA is we have something for everybody, whether that's tenter, RV, cabin, whether that's northern parks, snowbird parks, short-term, long-term. And to your point, different price points. So as we add different types of RV sites, such as these patio sites I referenced earlier, those tend to be at a higher price point, but that we still have a very healthy mix of other RV sites with different price options within the park.
Okay. Oh, that's great.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the cabins and all different options, tent and things like that. One of the things that I really enjoy about KOA is the fact that there is cabins on sites at most of the locations, maybe all. That'd be
pretty much all of them have some form of cabin, right?
So as I pull up with my RV, if I'm in an area, I can have friends, family stay on the campground, and they can rent out a cabin, and we can all enjoy the outdoor experience together. Is that a big draw? Do you find that as a huge draw, that people want to share this camping experience maybe with family members that don't have the RV?
Yeah, absolutely. We see the numbers from our research shows that people are increasingly camping in groups. And they're camping with, the average millennial camps about 10 people in a group. For example, in the Hispanic demographic, it's like 7.5 people are camping together. There's a lot of multi-generation camping, and we know that people aren't all coming together in RVs. Yeah. So we're even doing a lot of playing around with co-locating sites near each other, so cabins near RVs, near tents, because we know that people, whether it's a family or a group of friends coming together, they've all got a different type of equipment, and they want to be close to each other.
Oh, that's awesome. I think that's great.
And we're also doing a lot to invest in group space, so indoor gathering space, outdoor group space. We're putting in a lot of recreation that's intended to be for groups of people to recreate together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I was at the Tucson one, which really impressed me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very nice. And I like that it had 2 pools, 2 hot tub areas, a couple laundry areas, and then a big group area with propane fire pits that were like community.
Yeah.
So, like you said, a lot of people could gather in one area, even if you're not necessarily on the same RV.
Exactly. And one thing that the Tucson KOA, as an example, has done is he's been putting in buddy RV sites, and they have side by side, and then in the middle is this shared fire experience and a big outdoor kitchen. So really beautiful new sites they put in Tucson.
Yeah. So it's getting tougher to find campgrounds, I guess, because of the growth in the RV industry. Is KOA expanding its franchise to help with the accommodations with the growth of the RV industry?
Right. We are seeing a lot of our owners investing in their parks, buying adjacent land, adding more sites. There's been a really healthy increase of new sites. It's hard to quantify, but just the ones that our team at the home office have helped has touched actually 7,600 new sites over the past few years. That all being said, we have a lot of people building campgrounds. We have 13 new franchises being built right now, and there hasn't been growth in new parks being built in a long time.
Yeah.
So we're seeing that across the board. I was just at an RVIC meeting last week, and I'm hearing that from other people in the business. Sun Properties is building parks. Good Sam said they had 10 new builds come in last year. So I think there's a lot of parks being built, and which is helping the overall effort to get more people on sites.
What's your mix between franchisees versus company parks?
We own 31 of the 518, and then the rest are franchise properties.
Oh, wow.
So there's a lot of opportunity out there for individuals to pick up campgrounds.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're always looking to convert parks, join our system, add parks, become a KOA. So we've got a pretty robust system development department that's meeting with campground owners all the time.
And the newer campgrounds, you had mentioned the destination locations such as the Tucson. Is that the direction that KOA will go? Will we see more resorts that are like that come to KOA and enjoy the experience right here? You don't have to go out and spend a ton of money on amusement parks and things like that. You can have a good family experience.
I would say you can have that good family experience at any of our parks for sure. It don't have to be one of our KOA resorts. We've got about 20 resorts right now. I think all in, when we have all of our parks branded, we might have 35. Maybe we'll get 35 next few years, maybe 50, let's say, KOA resorts. But the majority of our system is holidays and journeys, and even at a journey park, it's a perfect place for a getaway.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to just be for overnight camping. And most all KOAs have swimming pools, some form of family recreation in that regard, and there's usually one near you, and so it's a good place to get away even in your local community.
That's true, very true. Yeah. There's very easy to stay at a KOA, and I say that because not all campgrounds are. So one of the things that my wife and I really appreciate while we're on the go and we're moving around, we travel full-time in our RV, we're always on the go, it's very easy to go online and make the reservation online and know that we're confirmed and that we are good to go. So how much of that do you think draws customers in? Is it it's just that ease and knowing the availability. And
yeah, I'm glad to hear that. We put a lot of effort into digital marketing. KOA.com has millions and millions of visitors a year, and we're constantly working to make it as easy as possible for people to make reservations. We're just in the midst right now of redesigning the core landing pages for every campground, putting more emphasis on visual content. We know that people want to see what the park's going to be like, have a better idea of the experience. We work hard on our conversion rates. They're above industry average if we compare to hotels, and we're constantly trying to improve that. And likewise, we put a lot of effort into mobile. We see a lot of mobile traffic to our website. Actually, more people come on phones than they do on desktop. And a lot of reservations are being made by phone. So
we do all of ours by phone.
You have to make that as easy as possible, because on a phone, if it's hard, they're not going to do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Another example at the Tucson KOA, and I'm sorry to keep going back to
That's
that.
That's okay. We love Tucson.
The solar panels that you have, and then you also have them, on the displays here.
In our model.
Is KOA trying to move their parks to more environmentally friendly options?
We think environmentalism is very important. We have a program called Camp Green that has different sets of standards for parks to follow for sustainability. And I think we're going to reinvigorate that program and try to do a lot more with it. The Tucson example is a good one. We worked with a company called Power Parasol, and that's a shade structure that covers several rows of sites there. It provides dappled light and shade covering, so it's a benefit to the people camping below it.
Yeah.
To our side, that solar panel is powering the campground and also putting energy back to the grid. Now, to your question, are we encouraging more of that? We like to try to lead by example. That's one of our corporately owned parks, so that's a good way in that we're trying something out and then can share those results and learnings and connect our franchisees with those vendors. And we definitely try to do that. In the climates where you have the good solar coverage like that, we are seeing a lot of campgrounds playing around with more and more solar installations.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Something I don't hear a lot of people talking about is the KOA points reward program.
Oh, value card, yes.
Yeah, could you talk a little bit about that and why that is important? Why do you have that? I don't think it's available with any other campground.
Well, Good Sam has a loyalty program, and which has a lot of members. Our value card program is pretty similar, and there's a lot of KOA loyalists out there that camp with KOA anyway, but they like being part of something that's going to give them something back. And that's what value card rewards is all about. So you actually buy an annual membership, and then you get 10% off all of your camping, but you also get access to a lot of different benefits, whether that's discount on products. We've got lots of different vendors that partner with us. We also have a value card appreciation weekend every September where you can camp for free one night because you're a value card member.
We took advantage of it this year.
And you also and it's like an airline, you rack up points. So you accumulate points as you camp, and then you can get free camping. So it's actually a really great program. We have over 500,000 people that are members of Value Card and really passionate about it.
Yeah, I think we both are, and Kenny's.
I did 150,000
member.
So you're a VIP. Yeah, we call those VIPs.
Oh yeah. We hit 150,000 points last year.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
And you also, like you mentioned, the discounts too. I think you can get restaurant discounts and things like that. So it's more than just a reward and points.
Yeah, we do. We actually integrate some technology. Those coupon books that you might buy from kids in schools?
Oh yeah.
Save Around is the name of the company that does that, and that we actually have their technology integrated into our mobile app. So, any given location you're in, you can get discounts on movie tickets, restaurants, all sorts of things through that Save Around technology. And it's free as part of being a Value Card member.
It's easy to use, too. It's all done in your phone. It knows where you're at, and you put the location, or you put the location in, and just a list of things pop up in the area that you can get a discount on and go
I'm
check
not sure
out.
We've taken advantage of that.
We did.
Yeah, you should. It's nice.
I'll teach you a few things, Sean.
You guys do that North American Camping Report every year.
We do.
I just read the last one before we came out here, and it has a ton of great information. How do you guys gather all that data?
We work with a research consulting firm called Karn Consulting out of Maine. He's been working with KOA and other members of the RV industry for decades, so he knows a lot about RVing. But he runs that body of research for us. That's all done electronically. We make sure we hit a sample size that's reflective of our demographics across the United States and Canada. And I think he does a good job of making sure that we're as reflective as general population as we can. So it's not just talking to KOA campers, we're talking to everybody out there, and then can break down our data in lots of different ways.
Okay. And then you guys are probably, because of your great websites and stuff, you're probably pulling a lot of data through there as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So every franchise or every person in the KOA system has to use our campground management system, and that allows us to have all of the data across the system. So we're able to understand at any given time how our business is doing. We can understand things regionally. We can understand things by campsite, camp type. We know what rates are happening out there. We can do comparative work for our campgrounds versus others in our system. So yes, we're very data driven, not just our consumer research, but internally a lot of data informs our processes.
And what has surprised you most about the most recent North American Camping Report? Anything surprise you?
There's definitely a few things that now that we've done this report for 5 years, we're able to look at big trends. And there's a few things that have really stood out to me in terms of trends over the past 5 years. One of which is the increase in frequency of camping. It's not just that people are camping once a year and then maybe next Labor Day they do the same thing. They're camping 3+ times a year. There's been a 72% increase in people that are camping multiple times a year. So that to me is indicating this is part of a lifestyle change. The bigger stories are always that the growth of millennials in camping, I believe that's been 9 points over the past couple of years, and diversity. Over 51% of all new campers last year were multicultural.
Oh, really?
And that's a huge shift, right?
That's a big jump.
We
Huge
were
shift.
just talking about that at dinner the other night, that we haven't seen a lot of multicultural
Campers when you're out there.
campers.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to hear that's growing.
That data point has held up year over year, that there's increasingly more Hispanics, African Americans, Asian Pacific Islanders camping. It's fun to dig into the nuances between the different groups and find out, are they cabin campers, tent campers, RV campers? Are they camping national parks? Are they camping private campgrounds? I mean, there's a healthy mix across all the segments, but there's definitely some takeaways. But I think that segment's only going to continue to grow, which is really exciting.
Yeah.
And you said that the frequency is increasing. Are you guys able to notice, is it people are traveling further to destinations more often, or are they hitting the same areas and coming back?
Well, I don't necessarily know that answer about how far they're going between trips, but what I do know is overall, most people are camping within 150 miles of home.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah,
That's pretty much-
70% of people are camping within 150 miles of home. And 100 miles of home is like 50%. So people aren't necessarily traveling across the country, as such as you guys travel all the time,
Yeah.
but most people are camping close to home.
Okay. And so do you want to talk at all about the Campground of the Future?
Yeah, sure. Campground of the Future is a great project that we started on about 6 months ago. RVIA had this vision of having a display of the Campground of the Future, and then we took it from there, and we involved everybody in our company was invited to participate, as well as some franchisees, and we just tried to build on what does KOA currently do, and then how do we think it's going to evolve based off technology advancements, and what do we know about consumer behavior. We also looked to adjacent categories like airlines, cruise ships, theme parks, what's happening there, because all that stuff will eventually work its way to a campground. We built out 5 different landscapes to show our concepts. We have mountain, urban, desert, coastal, and forest. I knew I was forgetting
Very
one.
nice.
And forest. And so at campthefuture.com, anybody can go and explore these models. You're just going to see a variety of different concepts that are coming to life. So there's things such as technology advancement. So we have interactive kiosks at the site, and maybe you can connect to the camp host, order firewood, sign up for recreation. We've got delivery drones and delivery bots to make things easier. We've got self-driving lawnmowers.
This is exciting stuff. This is the stuff that I like to see.
And some of this stuff is more site design. So we've got platformed RV sites that allow you to park below but then go up above and have a fire experience.
Never seen that
That's
before.
nice.
Yeah, that's a cool
Yeah,
idea.
we've got underwater cabins in our coastal environment. We know underwater hotels exist, so we played with that in the Campground of the Future. We've accommodated for glamping, increasing in popularity, as well as we've got some really cool stuff, innovative stuff with cabins, trying to blur those lines between indoor and outdoor, so maybe more opaque walls that allow the outside in, and retractable roofs for stargazing. I think that stuff's fun. But there's a lot of interesting themes. Environmentalism's a big theme. You're going to see a lot of solar integration, as we talked about earlier. We've got some ideas on lower impact sites that might be a possibility in the future. So the project's been great. You can view it in virtual reality with Oculus goggles or Google Cardboard, for example, or just play around with it on the computer.
Okay, so is there a link to it from the KOA website?
Just go to campthefuture.com.
Okay.
And then from there you can choose to go into any of those 5 landscapes, view it on the computer, or view it in virtual reality. And you can learn more about each of them there.
We'll add a link to our website as well and put it in there for anybody listening right now. You'll be able to go to our website, hit that link, and it'll bring it right
That'll
to them.
be great.
Somebody had mentioned while we were walking around your display here that you're going to add in features onto the reservation process that you could have things like firewood pre-delivered to your site, ready to go for when you check in. What other ideas are you guys messing around with as far as that goes?
Yeah, we have been playing with ideas. I think that the idea of full service turnkey camping is going to become more important to people. These younger generations, I'm talking like alpha generation, you know, I think there's going to be a pocket of people who would want to show up at the campground and have everything ready for them to go.
That's nice.
So we have some ideas in our model. On a couple of sites, we have what we call this pantry idea that you could order everything you want in advance. We load up this pantry and it's waiting for you at your site.
When you get
awesome.
there. Yeah, I like that.
You know, but I do think that model is going to become more important to people as we go in the future.
Yeah,
great.
I think Kenny and I are both big fans of KOA.
Yeah,
good. I'm
stay at a
happy.
lot.
Thank you. Glad to hear that.
I'm staying at one right now.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that. Please send me feedback if you have any, but that's great. Thanks for being customers.
I'm very happy to say that in all the KOAs that we have ever stayed at, Sabrina and I always have positive things to say. We've never had a bad experience.
Oh,
and
good.
I'm telling you, we stay at a ton of KOAs.
Sounds like it. Well, that's good to hear. I'm glad to hear that.
So those were really all our questions. Is there anything else that you would like to highlight for the listeners, or anything we didn't mention that you would like to mention?
Sure. I think the one thing I would add is, you know, since we're talking about RVs on this podcast, is we've come up with a concept called the KOA patio, and we've really put a lot of effort in adding KOA patios to our RV sites. We want to treat the RVer like royalty. It's kind of our mantra, and our patio sites have specific size dimensions requirements. They have fire rings, they have grills, 2 seating areas with backed seating, and they might sound no-brainers, but when you package that stuff all together, it's a really nice experience. And they tend to be the first things to book up on our campgrounds, and the most popular by far. So we're trying to get as many of those out in the system as we can.
Oh, okay.
They're the sites that we always try to get.
Yeah, in fact, one of them you were staying at, you were trying to get the one with the built-in fireplace outside with the chimney.
Oh, yeah, that sounds pretty fancy.
Yeah.
It's nice.
So, well, we want to thank you so much for taking time here at the RVX to meet with us. We know you're very busy becoming the new CEO of KOA, so we really appreciate the time that you took to chat with us.
It's been really nice. Thank you guys for stopping by, and thanks for camping KOA.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate that.
Appreciate it.
So there you have it. All of the great things KOA is doing for us travelers right from the CEO. Again, Kenny and I really appreciated the time Toby took with us at this very busy event. We think she will be great for the RV industry as the CEO of KOA. All of the staff at KOA are very enthusiastic about making the camping experience better, and with Toby as the CEO, we think KOA will be the go-to campground for you, if it's not already. We hope you enjoyed this special episode of Beyond the Wheel. Please leave a review and any comments. Also, follow Beyond the Wheel Podcast on Instagram, as well as our website, beyondthewheelpodcast.com.
This episode is brought to you by Battleborn Batteries, the best name in the RV and marine industry. These lithium batteries are designed and assembled in the USA, backed by a 10-year warranty. The best solution for your battery anxiety, so go check them out at battlebornbatteries.com.